And I think we're going to look back and say Florida State was actually really good. A team on the blue chip ratio, 3 years of 4 and 5 star recruits. They just got screwed by the portal. They got screwed by Uyunglele. Like, join the club. Everybody did. You know what I mean?
All right, it's another week of college football, and it's another week of BTB Analytics coming at you live for our weekly CFB breakdown. We got matchups to talk about. We got edges to talk about. And boys, we got a profitable weekend behind us as well. 7-3, ladies and gentlemen, 7-3 for our model plays last weekend. So we are back in the positive column. A lot of good momentum heading into week 5. So we're ready to keep this train rolling. It's been a fun season so far. The model is sitting profitable so far, and we're looking to keep this train going. So don't go anywhere, because later in the show we're going to switch it up a little bit. But we got some edges to give out. We got a free play to give out as well. So stick around for that. But we got matchups to talk about as well. And shout out to the chat. What's up, William? Hey, easy. Appreciate you guys being here. Keep the comments rolling throughout the show, guys. Yeah, we're going to be breaking down matchups, but definitely want to hear your insight, your opinions on what we got going on here. But let's not beat around the bush, boys. Let's get into some matchups here. A top 25 matchup. USC going against Illinois. Illinois, I mean, God bless. They got absolutely dog walked last week by Indiana. Shout out. And yeah, Steve, for what it's worth, like, USC is just as good, if not better, than Indiana's offense per our numbers, right? So I open into question here. How does Illinois respond to going up against another potent offense for the second week in a row?
Yeah, I don't know that they do. And can we just take a step back here and give ourselves credit, because there is no bigger USC fan in the land right now than the boys in South Bend, Indiana. I mean, I don't want to talk about Notre Dame too much, but we talked about the only reason they would be relevant is if they could somehow get a ranked USC team. And this is the game USC has to win, and then maybe they can keep it close as Michigan, because Notre Dame pays them in 2 weeks. So this is like USC coming alive, because who saw this coming? Now, you talk about USC and their explosive offense, and that's really what it's been. It's been straight up dominant. They're winning games by an average of 32 points. Their passing game is absolutely elite with Jada Mayava behind the helm there. 0.709 EPA per pass. That's best in college football. 11.6 yards per attempt, and that's second nationally. And so they are just absolutely whipping the ball around. Now for Illinois, they started off strong. We saw this, but like you mentioned, they got absolutely destroyed against Indiana. I take offense. I think dog walking is offensive to dogs, because that was a way worse beatdown than anything I think we saw coming. But we've talked about this. This offense lives and dies with Luke Altmaier, and if you don't give him a clean pocket, he's going to struggle. And that's not necessarily surprising. But if you can't keep up, and I don't know if they can with USC's offense, that's going to be a problem. Now, for me, the biggest thing is going to come around Illinois' defensive here. They did lose Xavier Scott, their star cornerback. And so if he's gone for the season, and so USC with all those weapons, especially with Mekhi Lemon at the helm here, he's been their stud wideout. If they are already down that, and then being down Xavier Scott, I mean, that's going to be a potentially long day here. So for me, it's two things. Can Illinois keep a clean pocket for Altmaier, and can they somehow slow down this USC passing offense? Because if they can't, it's going to be a long day. And the last thing I'll say is we looked at this in the NFL. If you guys haven't watched our YouTube and our TikTok channels, but everyone's going to make a big deal because USC's realignment in the Big Ten means that they're going to have these games where they're traveling across multiple time zones to play a game. So this is a big noon kickoff, which means it's going to be an early game, i.e. a 9 a.m. game for USC, who's on obviously Pacific time. We look at this at NFL. It really does not make a difference whatsoever. College is a little bit different. We'll see how that actually plays out. So, I mean, but if you're an Illini fan, if you're hoping against, jet lag, you've got bigger problems here. So I don't feel great if I'm an Illini fan, but, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Seth, from a market standpoint, this open that's largely at 6 is now at that 6.5 mark in favor of USC here. We make it, per our numbers, we make it -8. So even though we're leaning towards USC here, not showing an edge based on price and based on the numbers in the market. But yeah, I mean, just Steve touched on it again, like, how good is this USC's offense? And more specifically, like, going up against this Illinois pass defense, which we have ranked number 100 in our database.
Yeah.
So is that the script for USC? Just do what you've been doing.
Yeah, 100% that's the script. And I couldn't disagree with anything Steve said. Number 1 in pass offense in our database. Number 2 in run offense. So no matter how you want to do it, USC, they're fighting on offense. I will come at this at a bit of a different angle to kind of pump the bros here that are going to want to put the mortgage on USC by 1 million. The problem that I would point out for laying that -6.5 is the defensive side of the ball for USC. USC 25th in pass defense, 77th in run defense, and USC has the 114th easiest strength of schedule. So one of the easier schedules up into this point. So to your point, we're talking about how good this offense is. Well, they've done it against good offenses. Or I'm sorry, they've done it against easy defenses rather, but their defense hasn't really faced good offenses, where the Illini are the 21st hardest schedule. So they've actually had to perform on a much tougher schedule. So what my concern here is this is actually a shootout. I don't know that USC can really stop the Illini in a way. Look, can this be a 14-point game for the most of the game, and then you get backdoored on that last possession? That's what I'd be afraid of here. I think the 6.5s are probably where the train's leaving. Like you said, Kevin, we really don't make a big edge here. And it looks like it's juiced here to the 6.5. So you're laying -114. Best we show is -112. So I think it's a stay away, but I would really pump the brakes for all the Saturday Warriors that it's a lock, especially when it's sitting at maybe 7.5 come Saturday. I can really see the Illini hanging around in a way where it feels maybe like you're going to cover the whole game, and then something happens and you get backdoored, just because we don't know what this USC defense can do more than the questions we have on offense. They're going to be able to throw the ball, no doubt about that.
Yeah, the DJ and me wanted to absolutely slaughter the over on this one. It's 59.5 basically, and again, I got burned by USC over a couple weeks ago, so I think I have a little PTSD on it, unfortunately. But yeah,
even a raw number, if you would just ignore the market, we make this USC -11. So it's not like you're getting this crazy outsized, like they're going to win by 1 billion. I mean, I think this game is under 2 possessions.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's where the market's at one possession, basically. So take that for what it's worth, right? So yeah, it should be a fun one. Should be an interesting one to kick off the early slate here. So a few more games to talk about, but again, before we do, guys, don't forget to like the video if you haven't already. Please keep the comments coming. We'll try to get to as many as we can in the context of the conversation. And again, if you're not already subscribed, please do so. You'll get the noties as we go live each week. And last but not least, you see it up top there, btb-analytics.com. Still plenty of value to be had the rest of the season for our model plays and predictions. Go to our website. You can use BTB10 as a code to get 10% off the rest of the season-long package. Coming off another profitable weekend in college football, should be a fun one looking ahead. So
what are we hitting, like 60% or something like that?
21-16 is the win-loss record. Someone's got to do some quick math for me.
Yeah. It's like right at 60%.
Ain't that quick. Ain't that quick. Yeah. So all right, let's truck on though. We'll bring up the model and get to the model here in a little bit as well. But let's move to the SEC. An interesting, fun matchup here. LSU versus Ole Miss. From our market standpoint, this one opened 1.5 in favor of Ole Miss. Really no movement yet, kind of hovering around there still. We do make this one. We make it -4 in favor of Ole Miss. And it just kind of, as the cards may fall, this one we have some value on this weekend. So we like Ole Miss. That is on our card this week. So Seth, a strength on strength situation here, and from what I can deduce, Ole Miss is a top 15, number 13 to be specific, offense in our database, and LSU is the number 11 defense. But I guess I'm looking for the weak link here, and what do you think it is? I mean, the Ole Miss rush D? They are number 124th per our numbers and 114th in defensive run rate over expected. So teams are running the damn ball and doing it well against them.
Yeah, I mean, and it for a good reason, right? Because they're not good at defending it. And I don't think you're crazy here. The questions I have, like you're saying, is I think Ole Miss can have some marginal success here against the LSU defense, number 21st pass defense, number 34th rush defense for LSU, when we're going up against, like you said, a top 10 pass offense. But the question I have for here is, how are they going to approach this? Because like you said, it looks like the pathway for LSU should be via the run game. So are they going to have an ego here and have Nussmeier try to beat them? Are they willing to run the ball here? I have questions on, is Nussmeier, like he came into the season with these huge aspirations. He was hyped for Heisman here. And then we're sitting here today. And this is, in my opinion, their biggest test. And you know how I've been feeling about LSU all season. We're under LSU wins. We think that they're an overrated team. We've already faded them once against Louisiana Tech. We've cashed that, and we're hoping we're going to do it again here. I almost came close to alt season. Our raw number here is -8. I'm a little concerned here, like you're saying, is how much success Ole Miss is going to have. That's still the question for me. We don't really know how well that offense is going to go because LSU's defense is good. It's kind of the opposite of what we've seen in all of their seasons prior, where their defenses suck, but their offense is really good. This year, they actually have a good defense, but their offense is very much unproven, and I'm concerned that they aren't going to do what they need to in order to win this game, which is, like you said, run the ball.
Okay.
Listen, I want to say just real quick, as your friend, Seth, I'm here to pick you up when you were down. You don't have to worry about doing all season. I got you for that. We'll talk more about that on Off the Numbers because I am absolutely all over this. I love the -1.5, obviously, but I got greedy. Kev, can I talk my shit or
please, man? Please, man. This floor is yours.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, you already mentioned here, Seth, we talk about Ole Miss versus LSU, right? We talk about Ole Miss's offense. I mean, everyone talks about Garrett Nussmeier, and rightfully so, and that LSU offense and how he's going to be the quarterback to really sling the ball. We talk about all the accolades and the stats that LSU's had over the last 2 seasons, and it's been their defense that's been holding them back. And when you look at this, LSU has consistently struggled to not just have an overall offensive game against some really inferior opponents. We talked about Louisiana Tech. Yeah, they beat Clemson, but that win is not looking good at all, the way Clemson is free falling. And then you've got Florida, who, again, that win doesn't look nearly as good as Florida continues to struggle, against some good teams, but against some not good teams as well. So what gets me, though, is, yes, can they actually take advantage of the one weakness in my mind that Ole Miss has, and that's the run defense? But I don't know, because you look at this, LSU's 83rd in the nation in yards per carry. They're 90th in offensive rush EPA. And besides, again, that game against Southeast Louisiana, they haven't had a great offensive game just yet. And Ole Miss, spoiler alert, is going to be the best team in pretty much every single category that LSU has faced so far. Again, I know we had high on Clemson this year, or at least, the people are high on Clemson this year and in that first game of the year, but that does not seem like they are anywhere near the team they were last year. So to me, that's going to be the difference here. And I do want to give maybe a counter argument, a devil's advocate, if you will, about them being able to exploit this run game. Yes, people can call back and look how Arkansas ran all over Ole Miss for a tune of 221 yards. But guess what? Arkansas is a way more efficient run team than LSU has been at any point in this season. So that's kind of what Arkansas can bring to the table statistically. LSU doesn't, and they haven't done it just yet. So for me, I this is my chance where hate and petty collide along with data and information, and I can't feel better. I know we're going to talk about it, but let's talk about why I'm also on this. Lane Kiffin is petty, and boy, oh boy, is it time to be petty. I know you guys have all seen it. Show the tweet, producer Eric. We've got his daughter Landry Kiffin coming out saying she's going public dating LSU linebacker Whit Weeks, to which Kiffin said, "Take the over." I have some thoughts about that. I'll say it from Off the Numbers, but listen, Lane Kiffin already apologized last week for having letting the backdoor cover happen. I think the line ended at 8.5 and they won by 7, right? And so he already apologized to the public. He's getting back in good graces. So to me, this just screams -1.5 for sure, but I'm taking my chances elsewhere.
Dude, yeah, this is the real edge, man. This is chess, not checkers right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, so, I think this, you have to read between the lines here, because I don't think he can say a side here, right? Then it's kind of beyond a gray area. So I think taking the over is metaphor for scoring a lot of points.
Yeah, right.
Via running up the score. I don't know that I can wait, Steve. What's the alt line you're going? Because I can okay, you're saying the numbers here. So okay, I can see it 6.5, and that one, this is actually pays pretty well. It's probably in the plus 200s almost. But are you going
unfortunately, it should have been.
Oh, okay.
No. So you know what? Here's the thing. So we'll Kev, this is your show. Can I jump ahead a little bit?
This is our show, baby.
Okay. All right.
You roll.
So I got I was going to do -6.5. Unfortunately, the odds were all shit. It was plus 154 at FanDuel was the best I can find for that. But I didn't want to get greedy, because again, at this show, if you guys are watching, we are all about responsibility and informed decision making. Our raw number, like you already mentioned, was I believe -8, right? So I
that's our raw number.
I went to -5.5. A missed PAT, some fluke shit. You never know what happens. I'm playing a little bit safe, but I'm going a -5.5.
Okay,
What's that
good.
pay?
That one was, I think, -1.
You got plus
plus
154.
I'm sorry. No, you're right. It's 154. 6.5 was plus 170 something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
154. That's attractive. I forgot about the petty. I forgot about the boyfriend thing.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that's not baked into the number.
Like, we haven't had a chance to bet on Ole Miss yet. We bet against them once and covered, which is nice. Arkansas, which I agree totally, Steve. Like Arkansas's whole offense was just run the ball. It was just RPOs. Like everybody was running. LSU is not going to do that. Nussmeier can't run like that. So
yeah,
I don't know. Are we not getting greedy enough? Like
that's
-9.5.
We could deploy some units. We'll figure that out. But yeah. All right. I love it. Yeah. So we're on Ole Miss every which way you can slice it, baby. Yeah. Officially
Ole Miss
model
1.5
season.
Grab it.
Yeah. It's to be had. Absolutely. So
I don't think it's going to last much longer. This thing opened at Ole Miss +2, and it's just been nonstop buying on Ole Miss. Everyone in the market knows LSU is fraud. The only people that don't know LSU is a fraud are people on TikTok. And I got a lot of hate after that Clemson win. It's been real quiet in that on that LSU video comments. It was popping there for a little bit. I haven't seen one in a couple weeks, so we'll see what ends
funny
up
how that
happening
works.
this week.
Yeah. So all right, it's Ole Miss through and through, baby. So yeah, looking forward to this one. Yep, let's do it. All right, guys, don't forget we're getting a free model play out at the end of this video here, so don't go anywhere for that. Again, coming off a 7-3 weekend, so we are full steam ahead, boys. Let's get to a couple more matchups before we get to the good stuff here. So next up, a Big Ten clash, baby. Oregon at Penn State. This is the whiteout game, right?
Mhm.
This is the whiteout game. So this opened at -3.5 in favor of Penn State. Largely no movement there. We make it -5.5 in favor of Penn State. But yeah, Steve, this is an elite on elite situation here. Like Oregon's our number 4 offense and Penn State's our number 1 defense. And the one thing that both teams are top 10 in defensive echo rate allowed, right? So I'm on one hand, I want to like take the under on this, but I'm thinking like from a different edge case. Like Oregon on the offensive side, they're number 1 in points per echo at almost 6.67 points per echo, which is insane. Penn State, for what it's worth, they're holding their own. They're number 7 in echo points allowed, 2.4. So, like, again, elite on elite, strength on strength here. I mean, this should be a fun one any way you slice it. But how do you see the script going in this one?
Man, this is tough because preseason I was rooting for Penn State. I wanted Penn State and James Franklin to finally break through. They didn't have to play both Michigan and Ohio State. It just seemed like all the things were aligning for them. This is the Big Ten championship game rematch, right? And now they get them on their home turf. They can right all the wrongs. Like the Cinderella season is just, the writers are cooking on this one, right? But then I watched the first few games for Penn State, and yeah, you mentioned the defense is great. We talked about how, excuse me. About how Jim Knowles coming there from Ohio State and how he could do great things, but I'm concerned about the quarterback play for Penn State with Drew Aller. I mean, this passing attack has yet to really get going. If you look at the box score, but also look obviously more at the advanced metrics that we use here, and it's against the competition that has me worried, against Villanova, against FIU, against Nevada, right? And so if you can't really get this going here, I'm not sure if Oregon is the get-right game for Penn State to really dial it up a notch. Now, again, they have been blowing teams out, right? They have been scoring the ball, and their strength has been running the ball, right? Running it and defense, like you mentioned, creating havoc, creating turnovers, things like that. But Drew Aller, 78th in pass EPA, the run game ranking number 18th in the country. That, to me, has got to be the strength here. I do not want James Franklin to put this game on Drew Aller's back. I know he's capable. I know last year he had a great year. He's a good pocket passer, but something's off this year. He's been highly scrutinized, of course, but he's been inconsistent. Shout out PFF. He had 21% of uncatchable pass rate. It's 86 nationally, and he's just ranking at a 60, I believe, 8 in PFF passing grade. That's not good. That's outside the top 100, and we know he's a better quarterback than that, right? So I'm just not sure what to make of this here. And then on the other side, you've got Dante Moore, who has been playing absolutely well, all things considered here. So to me, that's what it's going to come down to. Is it's going to be really the Penn State defense versus Dante Moore. Can you force this young quarterback into mistakes here? Can you get some exotic pressures? Can you kind of confuse him? Kind of like we've seen other like Brent Venables, things like that kind of go through against Bryce Underwood, right? Like, can you make something exotic to really rattle his timing? Because if not, I'm not really sure if Penn State is got what it's take based off what I've seen from inferior opponents.
That's one way of thinking about it.
Give me another.
No. I think you're mostly right, but I do want to point something out that I think is interesting. And we know how strategic Franklin can be. Penn State strength of schedule 136 out of 136 teams. This is the easiest FBS schedule that has existed up until this point. If you're Franklin, you know the schedule, you know who you're playing, and you know that you're basically playing nobody until you play one of the hardest games and one of the most important games in your season. Are we sure that this isn't strategic? Are we sure what we're seeing out of Aller is not by design? And I'm not exactly certain. Now, on the other side of the ball, Oregon, 119th strength of schedule. So they've also played nobody. So, Kevin, you highlighted these teams here. We don't really know how good Oregon is going to do against a good defense. And we don't really know how good that defense is for Penn State here. And so we're going to learn a lot in this game. But what I'm honing in on here is how much weight can we actually put in what we know about Penn State? Because I'm not sure that we can put any weight. What would change so much about Drew Aller? It's not like he's coming off an injury. This is their most talented roster they've had. I'm wondering if there is some gamesmanship here. It's not like this game is sneaking up on them by any means. They were going for the shutout against Villanova until the literal last play of the game. So you can't tell me they don't care. So our model kind of is putting, no value here. We're leaning a little bit in the direction of Penn State. And I guess if we go by anything, I guess we seem to know a little bit more about the defense here and them shutting out multiple teams. Can we put a little bit more weight in that? And can we trust this Oregon offense to actually be able to perform? That's the other angle I have here for all the people that want to, run and support Oregon. I don't know that we know enough there to run and kind of bet that side either. So for me, I would highlight that. I wouldn't be surprised here if Penn State can cover, if they can come out swinging and we see a different Drew Aller all of a sudden.
Yeah, all of a sudden, that's the point, right? Like, what you said it kind of brilliantly. Like, what's going to change, in a given week? I mean, you look at peel a little bit more behind the curtain here a little bit. They're 107th in third down success rate, so they are generally not sustaining drives consistently, right? And if you're in obvious pass down situations, you're in the 80th team in the country in passing efficiency. Like, you're behind the sticks more often than not, and you're not good at moving the chains.
But I just, how much are they putting on tape? Like, how much are they just like, we're gonna rogue just manhandle? They're the Penn State's the 10th most talented roster with the easiest schedule. Like, they can go put their backups in these games. They can just will themselves to wins here. And are they, or have they been doing that? I mean, what do we think that the fall off, like when we think about the Clemson fall off, we kind of saw that coming. What would have precipitated this fall off for Penn State? On paper, they've gotten better in every which way. And we saw them go through, go to the playoff. This is obviously me speculating. I don't have data for this, but I'm concerned that when you have a schedule this easy, of course, it's easy to be like, schedule this easy, these stats are concerning, they're going to suck. Or that, or the other alternative is like, no, these stats suck because by design, like they literally not putting anything on tape.
Montana State, Oklahoma State, Northwestern, and Oregon State is who they've played so far. So, and
Villanova.
Well, no, that was you were talking about Oregon, right, Kev?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, that was Oregon's schedule. Yeah,
Oregon.
yeah.
Sorry,
but then even worse for Penn State, Nevada, FIU, and then Villanova.
Ooh. Yeah,
and how they had two shutouts, and they were going for the third in a row.
Right.
And they were like fighting for it. Franklin was calling a timeout. Like there was 30 seconds left. Like I don't know. This is highly suspect to me. Like how would they be that bad against these teams? Like it's easy to be good on defense, so they can't hide that, and they are. They're shutting these teams out. But on offense, like, well, we have to put something. We have to win the game, so we have to like do something.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen Space Jam? Clearly, it's the Monstars. You know, you went out the K Club, Nick. They got Drew Aller. I mean, that's how you can suck so much after 1 year. I mean,
Yes.
I hear you, and I've heard that theory kind of thrown around, right? You gotta these are the games that matter, right? I mean, obviously every game matters, but really these are the games that matter for Penn State coming up. I mean, we'll see. I mean, again, this is speculation on my side too. One thing I do want to call out though, Oregon in their offense, we talked about them. Dante Moore, you know, top 7 passing EPA, top 5 running EPA as well. And so this is what they have a really balanced top 10 offense here, and you're getting Noah Whittington back from injury, running back for Oregon. So another stud, another piece to add back to that puzzle. So hey, listen, I'm not hating on Penn State. I do want them to do the thing this year. But I guess to me, to your point, Seth, this is going to be the barometer. Like, are they actually who we think they are?
Yeah.
Or is just another year where James Franklin, shout out, we had in the chat, you know, 12-25 against ranked teams, is just another James Franklin disappointment in the big game. So,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, he knows this. This guy's he's the Lane Kiffin of the Big Ten. He covers games. He always is doing shit like this. He knows how important the season is. This is their one shot, in my opinion. They have the quarterback. They have the talent. They have the defense. Why would you put anything of substance on tape up until this point?
We'll see.
You legitimately don't need to.
Yeah, I'll put a ball in this and say I'm glad we don't have any action on this one because I think the bottom line here is there's a lot of uncertainty with
I will say the one thing I'm hoping for in this game is another Keegan Michael Key. I see that the Key and Pill skit where
he dressed up as Franklin. Yeah,
that was spot on.
Yeah,
I'm hoping for a bunch of false starts. Tuesday, everybody singing Mo Bamba so loud.
Let's go. All right, let's go. Oregon, Penn State, yes, should be a fun one, boys. All right, we got one more game to break down before we get to our free model play of the week. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you liking the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And again, those notifications on will trigger an alert every time we go live, so you can break down and sit and talk about with us every single week. All right, next up, we got another SEC clash, a fun one. Bama and Georgia. Go Dogs. This opened -3 in favor of Georgia, largely still hovering at that number, and we're pretty much right on market. We make it that 3 number, so we're not showing any value in this game in this weekend here. So, an interesting little bit though, Steve Kirby, although 3-0 still, but he hasn't covered yet this season. Kirby is not chopping wood like he used to, man. I'll tell you.
Yeah, he did. He didn't cover against Tennessee. Wasn't Tennessee -3.5?
Yeah, they lost by 3. Or
Georgia
was -3.
Okay.
Yeah. So 0-3 in the cover for Kirby so far. So they're winning, but they ain't chopping wood like they used to. So I guess Steve, my point there was going to be Georgia's still a very good defense. I don't know if Tennessee exposed something or if that was more of a fluke game situation. Because Bama's a pass first offense. Right.
Yes.
They are our number 6 passing team in efficiency and number 113th in run rate over expected. So that means, AKA schematically, they just philosophically want to pass the ball and do pass the ball. And so again, Georgia's now kind of like a bad pass defense because of that Tennessee game, effectively 99th against the pass now from our data. So again, is that something that Alabama just looks to exploit, or will Kirby and them figure out to chop wood again?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be interesting here. I mean, first and foremost, Georgia should have lost that game. Tennessee got a chance to win it on a field goal at the end of it, and they had a false start, backed them up 5 yards, and the kicker missed it. I mean, you hate to see it, but obviously that's college kickers, right? But one thing I do want to call out, we talk about this whole, this transition from Carson Beck to Gunnar Stockton, and what is he going to do here? I mean, Gunnar had a pretty good game, all things considered, in Tennessee. Where he struggles, which is, what we're going to say over and over again, is having that clean pocket versus the pressure. When he's pressured, he drops down to 104th in terms of passing efficiency. And so this is, to me, to your point, Kev, can Alabama actually get pressure? I mean, obviously we think of Alabama as like this, mean defensive machine, right? And that's kind of, all the years under Nick Saban, but their pass rush, it's really driven by their secondary, not their actual defensive line. They're getting pressure because their secondary can cover so well, but their D line isn't actually getting any what we call quick pressures. They only had 8 all year. that's tied for worst in the Power Four. And so if Georgia's O-line can hold up, and that is a big question, I'm not taking that for granted. I think you can see another clean and probably even better game for Gunnar Stockton. Now, obviously, we saw this game last year where Alabama went up, was like 28-0, and then Georgia came all the way back, and then Alabama had that crazy last-minute touchdown with Ryan Williams there. So this is one of the ones where, I don't think Ty Simpson, obviously, is not Jalen Milroe. It's a completely different style of game here. And so I get they've gone on. I get they've won games after the whole Florida State debacle. But to me, this Georgia team, I think, still has them figured out. So I'll be curious to see how this thing turns out.
I got a different angle here.
Ooh, let's do it.
There's a lot of things happening all at one time, but Kevin, I'm honing in on the same thing you're talking about. Alabama, 6th best passing offense in our database. Georgia, 99th against the pass. And we saw Tennessee have a shit ton of success. They kind of went away from it later in the game, which was interesting. They're very susceptible. And when we look at echo rate over expected, Alabama's number 15th on offensive echo rate over expected. So they're getting a lot of drives to the 40 or better. And then when we're talking about points per echo on defense, Georgia's 99th in points per echo as well. So they're allowing teams to finish drives. We have some breaking news in college football with Mateer, broken arm, out for 3 games. That effectively means to me, he's out of the Heisman race. This is the beginning of a Heisman run that Ty Simpson can really go on. And I think right now is going to be the best time to buy them if you believe that thesis. Plus 2,200 in the market. But you can't tell me they go into Sanford Stadium in Georgia. Ty Simpson has a lot of success, which we think he might have if we go off the Tennessee game numbers for Georgia. That's going to be a huge resume builder for him. And really right now, Mateer was kind of the runaway. Maybe Beck is in second, but the market doesn't know what to do with this probability that Mateer, in my mind, is forfeiting. So Ty Simpson, Heisman, I think people should be looking at it. If you think Alabama is going to easily cover this game, I think you should be placing some tickets for Ty Simpson to win the Heisman.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, we're leaning Georgia, right? I mean, our numbers make it -3 here, but
that's a coin flip.
That's I was just gonna say, like, that doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of things. Like that's a 1 possession game, right? But I wanted to double check too, because how much did that Tennessee game really throw Georgia's data out of whack? So going into that game against Tennessee, they were still the 43rd ranked pass defense in our database. So not terrible, but like they dropped 50 spots in our ranking, so to speak, because of that game. Like, so how many, like, what does that do? Is there some self-correction here? Like, do you believe inherently that Tennessee's pass offense is just as good or comparable to Alabama's? I don't know about that personally, but
yeah, and I don't remember what Tennessee is in our database. But yeah, obviously
I didn't check that.
I mean, obviously, it's going to be correlated here with the outcome of Tennessee, this Georgia game.
Right. So I'm the only thing I'm pissed about this weekend. It's a phenomenal weekend of ball. This Oregon and Penn State and the Alabama and Georgia game are on the same time. Just absolute travesty.
Well, so you got to get some more TVs.
Just absolute travesty.
Tennessee is the number 15th pass EPA offense.
Yeah, so there you go. So very comparable to Bama. So
comparable, but Bama's even better.
Yeah, no, fair point. Fair point.
Ty Simpson, I don't know. I think we look back and we realize.
Do you see what number you could get?
Plus 2,200.
You said okay.
Yeah, and I think we're going to look back and say Florida State was actually really good. A team on the blue chip ratio. 3 years of 4- and 5-star recruits. They just got screwed by the portal. They got screwed by Uyunglele. Like, join the club. Everybody did. You know what I mean? So, I think that this Florida State team is actually really, really good. And we look back, and that's actually maybe a signature loss that they get to look at.
Yeah.
So
fair.
Ty Simpson, I haven't made up my mind here, but this is a really unique situation where you have the favorite, in my mind, coughing up all of his probability. I do not think you can win the Heisman if you miss 3 games. I don't think that that's possible. At least that's my opinion.
Yep.
So where's this going to go? And you can't tell me that Ty Simpson doesn't have the schedule to win people over. And this is the beginning of that. He goes in Sanford and does work. That's the beginning.
I'm just waiting for the commercial. If you or a loved one has been personally affected by DJ Uiagalelei, you might be entitled to cash. Call now.
You might be. You honestly might be. Clemson fans, I would still be crying.
Shout out. All right, it should be a fun one to wrap up the slate. I mean, there's still going to be some night games after this, but it'll be a good way to go out. Largely on a Saturday slate. So, all right, boys, we got one more thing to talk about before we get to our free model play here. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you being here. Don't forget to like the video. Keep the comments coming. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know what you want to hear about, and make sure you have those notifications turned on as well. You'll get the alert every time we go live, not only for our college show, but also for our NFL show, which we'll be doing mañana as well. So, all right, free model play coming up here in just a sec. Let's talk about some off the numbers real quick. So, again, friendly competition we're having all season long. Loser's going to have to fork up some dough. Let's just make it monetary, I say, because unless anyone's willing to do some shit on camera, we'll see. We'll see.
Dang.
Anyway, we got off the numbers.
Kevin.
It's a friendly competition. We're just picking games that either are based on data, based on narratives, whatever. Best bets of the week brought to you by yours truly. So going into this week, I am 3-1, top of the leaderboard for college so far. Seth and Steve are 2-2, so not far behind. For mine this week, since we kind of already got Steve's, he's some all season, but I'll let him recap it real quick. I'm on Ohio State, Washington under 52.5. I got -114 at FanDuel. Markets agreeing with me in the early stages, only 51.5 now. But OSU, the short version is here. Ohio State's our number 3 ranked defense. Washington, the best team that they've played to date, is number 85 in our power rankings, aka they haven't played shit yet. Okay. And OSU, first road game going all the way to Washington.
All the way.
All the way, baby. So defense is going to travel. I still expect Ohio State to be able to put up points, but I'm far more skeptical about Washington's ability against Ohio State's defense. And yeah, Washington so far is the number 1 team again in echo rate, but who have they played? Nobody. And for again, always Ohio State number 3 in preventing echo quality drives. So, and to boot, last but not least, Ohio State has not allowed a single point to be scored when teams get into the red zone this season. So very top of the country, top of the class. So I like the under in this game.
Why not Washington? Why not Ohio State? Like on the spread, it's fairly short.
I thought, 8.5. I think 8 or 8.5. I think is the number. I thought about it.
Okay,
he's giving you a gift, Seth. Shut up.
Okay,
I'm trying to win.
I'm wondering why I shouldn't take that. That was pretty convincing. Why I should.
Shout out. So yeah, 3-1. That's where I'm at. All right, Seth. What do you got this number? Or do you want to go last? Because you don't have anything queued up.
Oh no, I'm ready, baby.
Okay, let's
go.
go.
Sorry. Yeah. No. I'm going fade. I'm going fade mode. I think this is going to just be something I'm just going to come back to the well every week if this works. I'm just going to fade UCLA for the rest of the season. So give me Northwestern. I think the best number I can get in the market is -6.5 plus 100 over at DraftKings. And I just am not convinced that the firing of the head coach is going to correct this problem. I suspect it actually makes it worse. So Northwestern -6.5. Keep this under possession. Our model likes this Northwestern a little bit. The raw numbers like minus 10-ish. I think the market doesn't know what to do with this UCLA team. It has talent, but they can't do anything with it. We've already been fading them a couple weeks. Keep the good times rolling. Northwestern -6.5 plus 100.
Shout out Nico Iamaleava. Poor guy.
Well, actually, not shout out. Hopefully he doesn't shout out at all. I hope he shuts down.
Indeed.
Well, all right. He can join the transfer portal. Will he do it?
Which is so insane. Yeah, he probably will. But yeah, I'm surprised. I haven't, because we heard rumblings about Virginia Tech and so many of their players wanting to enter the portal or sitting out last week's game because their coach got canned. I've been trying to dig and see if I could, what I could learn on the UCLA front of it. I imagine it's similar, but the details coming out are a little more covert. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't hate it. I get the angle for sure. So, All right, Steve, take us home, man. I know we talked about alt season and any more context add, and just give us the number and the price again, if not.
Yeah, just to recap, Ole Miss -5.5 plus 154 alt season over LSU. I'm taking Lane Kiffin being petty. I'm taking Lane Kiffin being guilty for not covering last week. And I just want to give you a couple of numbers: 99, 105, 90. Those are the offensive pass EPA ranks for for LSU's opponent so far. 10 is where Ole Miss comes in. And then we talk about this defensive pass EPA. 44, 67, 69. Those are the ranks for the opponents LSU's played so far. 20 is where Ole Miss sits. By far, this is the best competition they've gotten so far. Sign me the F up. Alt season all day long, -5.5. Ole Miss.
Yeah, give it to me too. But I'm taking 6.5. I'm taking 6.5.
Why stop
this
there?
This is the perfect storm. This is the perfect storm. Alt Ole Miss -6.5. I stand by my Michigan one last week. I was on vacation and that hurt. I was just scrolling, like update. I could just see the writing on the wall. They got to like 4th and 1 at one point. I'm like, okay, all right. And nope, like a penalty. I was bad.
Yep. Yeah.
But not this week.
Yeah, you were there. So all right.
Lane Kiffin's my savior this week.
Yes, sir. All right. Some good off the numbers plays this week. So best bets from us. Tail at your own peril. But let's do it, boys.
Tail Kevin.
Yeah, you said it. All right.
Although I'm 2-2, but with plus money, so I'm up. I'm up money.
Yes, we're all good. We are making the people money here still. Don't worry about it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's the moment you've been waiting for. Let's get to it. Boom, coming off a 7-3 weekend again in college football, 21-16 year to date so far. We got a free play we want to give out now, and then we'll talk briefly about some of the edges or where kind of what the volume looks like for us going into this weekend here. But let's talk about it, boys. Arizona versus Iowa State. Let's break this down a little bit and give the people what they want. So this one opened from a market standpoint. This one opened at 6.5, and that still can be had at the moment. There is one still available. I forget which book it was. Someone's gonna have to fact check me in real time here, but we make the number -10. So we got value on Iowa State -6.5. That is the official free play of the week, ladies and gentlemen. -6, Iowa State -6.5, -110 versus, I got to get y'all's perspective here, versus the Bear Downs, Arizona Wildcats here. So I said I got a question for both of you. Arizona, according to our database, has a top 10 pass defense. And to that, I just say, how, Sway? How?
Strength of schedule. That's how, Sway.
Thank you.
Yeah, they haven't really played anybody. They have had a very easy schedule, so I think that's playing a lot in the numbers. Also, talent differential too. So yeah, I mean the model really likes Iowa State here, -6.5. I think we were able to get a -5.5 earlier in the week, but we still like it at this number. Yeah, I don't know. This one doesn't seem surprising. Arizona has done okay, but Iowa State has definitely had the tougher schedule throughout the season.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I need something more. That's the one metric I looked at, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, but then strength of schedule, you mentioned it, but you flip through the rest of the data and kind of how we parse out value and how we bet into these markets is Iowa State is better in most other useful and predictive metrics. They're the number 27 pass offense versus Arizona's 108th. Oof. Mm-hmm. Oof. Iowa State, number 86 in points per equal. Not great, but 130th for Arizona. Oof. Shit. Bad. Not good. Right? And then lastly, success rate. Iowa State, number 49th. Not bad, but number 98 for Arizona. So bear down, literally, metaphorically. Actually, just literally, just Bears need to stay down on this one.
And Wildcats too.
Bears, Wildcats, Lions, Tigers, Wildcats.
Is this at Arizona or is this in Iowa?
I believe it's at Iowa State.
Yeah. That's also tricky too.
Yeah, it should be in Ames.
Yep. Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah. I look, Arizona alumni. They've had a good run, but we'll see. But you know the game. Take the value, bet the game. Measure CLV, print money.
Let's go. 100%. That's the name of the game. All right, so that is our free play of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk real quick though about some of the edges, and let's pull up the rest of the slate, if you will. So here's what we're looking at. We got 8 other games here where we show an edge. Switching up a little bit, we're not giving out the official plays that we're on in respect to our members and subscribers. Obviously, if you guys want to see those games, which side we're on, and what we've played, join us, btb-analytics.com. You can take 10% off, use code BTB10 for the rest of the season. But yeah, again, guys, 7-3 this past weekend. Looking forward to another packed slate for week 5. Should be a fun one. I really like, you know what? This is the first week where I can almost say universally, like, I love everyone's off the numbers pick. I might tail both you guys, to be honest.
Ooh.
But yeah, so a lot of good vibes going into this weekend, and obviously coming off of last weekend here. So looking forward to everything. But yeah, I want to there was one thing. Because
56%, by the way, I did the math. 56%.
Thank you for that math. Yeah. And also I just want to shout out Migs, who's one of our subscribers. He hit us up, and we don't kind of naturally advertise this type of betting style, but hey, more than one way to skin a cat in this game. He hit us up on our Discord and said, "Hey guys, appreciate what you're doing. I was able to use the data and the numbers from your model, and I threw together a 10-leg money line parlay. Basically, I think there was one spread bet in there, but all based off our numbers, all based off our data. He used a boost as well from FanDuel, $10 into $1,500. So he said it was going to be a good little extra sum for his daughter's birthday. So shout outs. Love to see that type of stuff. So, all right, Seth, Steve,
get in the Discord, I guess, right?
Yeah.
We're always in there answering questions, cooking up value. So yeah, get on the Discord, sign up, get those value plays.
Yes, sir. A lot of season to be had still. Don't miss out. Get it while it's hot. All right, boys. It's been real. CFB Week 5 is on the cusp. We'll be back next week, as always, breaking down the matchups, breaking down the edges, breaking down the value. Until then, we'll see you.